Hello everyone, this is Remo with another interview for Back to Warcraft, and this time our interviewee here, I'm pretty damn sure every one of you watching this knows him. It is the legend, Grubby himself, who was nice enough to sit down and let me ask him a few questions. So firstly, thanks for that.
My pleasure, man. It's great what you guys are doing to keep the spirit of Warcraft 3 alive.
That's very nice to hear. Thank you. You're here not in the player position, but you are in charge of something else. You're actually the ambassador for WCA, the ambassador of Europe. How did that actually come to be? Like, did someone specifically approach you a long time ago? Was it kind of short notice? And do you feel honored? Because, I mean, it sounds like a big title. I mean, it's not like you have a big title in the WCA engine, but, you know, it sounds like they want to honor your achievements so far. And also, in that capacity here as ambassador, you do a lot of floor interviews actually, which I find to be really cool. And yeah, it's totally a different experience here. You're not here as a competitor, but you know, kind of more of a relaxed thing. How is this experience different for you, and do you enjoy it?
All right, so for WCA, they just asked if I would be willing to be the, like, let's say, the brand ambassador and do interviews here. So basically what that means is my support for the tournament and interviewing players and audience members and doing some hosting here, which I think is really cool, because without this I wouldn't have been at Gamescom, and Gamescom is awesome. So like, Gamescom and BlizzCon is the two events that I would always love to be at. And then it's like for 3 different Blizzard games, I play all of them: Warcraft 3, Heroes of the Storm, and Hearthstone. I get to meet a lot of the players here that I have played with or against, either in Warcraft 3 or in Heroes of the Storm. Hate, Love, Anger, and Yalls. I mean, I used to practice with those guys, so it's really cool to meet them again. And why am I supporting WCA? Well, I think more people deserve to know about WCA. Like, you have tournaments that have qualifiers and you have invites. As a player who has been, you know, in the limelight during my active career in Warcraft 3, usually I got invited for almost all the tournaments, which is great when you're, you know, in that position. But how do you get new players to join tournaments? Like, it may have at times felt inaccessible for some players to actually pursue their own dreams and to compete in a tournament, like with the big boys. You know, how do you become a big boy? So open qualifiers, I feel like, are very important. Now, WCA has an invite qualifier to make sure that the interest is there for people to watch, like the people that are currently on top of their game in the respective regions can make it out there and wow the crowds. At the same time, you have open qualifiers where John Doe, where basically anyone can come and play and say, hey, you know, these star players that think that their position is so secure, I've been practicing and I want to qualify too. I want to make my own dreams possible too. So if someone from those qualies gets to go to China, they're going to be exposed to like an experience that would never be possible without such grassroots tournaments like WTA and like WCG before. And BlizzCon in a way also has a lot of people just being able to qualify, unknown, but making it, and we need that. So I stand for that, I support that, even though I benefited from the opposite sometimes.
But of course, now seeing this all from a broader spectacle, it's of course important to have those open qualifiers. Now, you are the ambassador of Europe. Moon is the ambassador of Southeast Asia. Sky, the one of China. There are many people hoping that in Yinchuan, China, in December, there might be a show match between the 3 legends of their respective races. Is there a chance of that happening? Would you be willing to go for something like that? You know, just for fun, for the fans?
I mean, of course I would want to do that. I don't know if I'm going to be there yet, whether my schedule allows for it or whether they will invite me, and whether something like that will be organized. And also, how do the 3 of us play? FFA?
Well, that would be a possibility. I didn't think of that. But yeah, FFA, I mean, it would be for fun anyways. I think anyone would love to see you guys touch Warcraft 3 in any capacity.
Yeah, I mean, I haven't seen Moon in, God, 5 years, maybe more. I heard I heard he's a husband. He has 2 children. He's been to the army and came back, as far as I know. Many developments. Sky, I've seen him fairly recently. I played a Heroes of the Storm show match on his team 2 months ago. I met him last month in China as well for Warcraft 3 games, promotions and so on. And I met him last year, so I see him fairly recently in terms of living all the way on the other side of the world. He just actually started his own peripherals company. So he's also like continuing to stay in esports and growing new projects and so on. I mean, we've been in esports for a long time, like me even longer than Sky, and a pro gamer, you can't be it forever. I always thought I will be one forever, but now I just like to stream and visit events like this, and maybe to play show matches like that, where maybe the stakes aren't as high, and you don't practice 1 million years for it or 1 million hours. But on the other hand, the stakes are also kind of high because it's kind of cool to play against someone you used to play against all the time again, and people are gonna watch that. So I think that would be really cool.
Yeah, and Moon especially, it seemed for the longest time like you two were kind of the kings of the scene, the kings of the pros. I mean, you had your slums here and there, but you and Moon, you always stuck out. You were basically the faces. Did you feel the same way that the community did? Like he was your biggest rival and you were his biggest rival? Like it was oftentimes between the two of you guys? Did it feel like it was often a fight between kings? And what would you say you admire most about Moon? I know many competitors, when they meet another very, very, very outstanding competitor, there's something that they admire about that person. Was that the case for you as far as Moon was concerned?
I mean, I could talk about Moon for a long time. He has a peaceful demeanor. He's one of the kindest people I know. One of the most trusting people I know. There was one situation where I was in Korea and I didn't have a credit card yet because that's not so easy to get in the Netherlands, and I was quite young. And I didn't have enough cash and I didn't have enough money on my bank account, I don't know, or I forgot my code or whatever. Either way, I needed his help to use some Korean website and to advance payment on a flight ticket back to the Netherlands. And I didn't know who to ask. And we were rivals, but we also had a mutual respect, and I figured can't hurt to ask. And I was ready to explain, sorry for the inconvenience, blah, blah, blah. But he was just like, sure. And he just paid it. He didn't know how much. He didn't ask, how do you get it? When will I get it back? $2,000, sure. And, and I never paid him back.
That's a joke, right?
That's a joke. I did. And another moment was I was at WEG 2006. I was sharing a room with Moon. And I was in Team 4 Kings, and so was Todd. And Todd was rooming with Zakar. They were 2 party boys, so they wanted to be in the same room. It was more compatible for their lifestyle. And Moon was facing Todd in the group stage. And it was 2 4-player groups. And first of all, I got to see how does Moon practice. It was very interesting. He would wake up, usually before me, and he would watch every replay on war3.replays.net that existed.
Every single one?
Every single one. So did I, but he watched them all in a row, and I watched them spread out over the day. It's not better or worse, just different. So he would watch 20, 30 new replays. Okay, when he was done, no breaks, of course. I mean, I didn't take much breaks too, so I know what he was on. A passion for the game. And so when he was done, he would call his practice partner, for instance, Focus or some, Rainbow, I think, or some human player that he used to play with, like Lucifer's brother, Michael. And they would start practicing. And I could see that every strategy which he had seen in a replay, he would copy it once, just to try it on, see how it feels. And then I was watching, and in Warcraft 3, in a team, when you're in a team, you have a kind of loyalty towards each other. And you have a loyalty towards friends, and you have a loyalty towards countrymates. These 3 loyalties exist when you decide who do you help, who helps you, stick together at a tournament, and that kind of thing. Todd, he was my teammate. And so I asked him, it's like, aren't you worried that you know, I mean, I'm sitting right here. I can keep my eyes closed, but I'm practicing right next to him. Sometimes I watch him, sometimes he watches me. Aren't you worried that I'll reveal what strategies you're playing to Todd? And he looks at me and he says, I trust you. So cool. And
did you betray his trust in the end?
couldn't, not after he said it that way. I don't know what I was gonna do because, like, I mean, we're rooming, so it's like it's a necessary position, and you know, I helped Todd however I could. But Todd understood that too. I told him, I was like, you know, I saw him prank, but I can't tell you, you know, because douchebaggy. And he's like, yeah, I understand, but I mean, I can help him with other things, mindset, blah blah blah. We helped each other. We stuck together as well, but you know, I can't tell him about that because that's not done. So
That's very cool. That shows a lot of sportsmanship between you guys. That's
I mean, it shows what kind of person Moon is too. And he would be at events and just standing mostly like a loner and just thinking about the game. And when we met, I always felt like it was fireworks. Like at first, I was not able to beat him, and no other orc was. He was like unbeaten for like 16 months or whatever in all televised matches, 36-0 against orc. He just was unbeatable by orc. Finally, I did it once at this tournament, and then from then on, we just traded blows at major tournaments. He had his strengths. Like if we prepared for a match for a long time, he would bring the most evil strategies. Like what a bastard, what a devil in the game. He was the first one to tech to tier 3 with one archer. Either he go for talents, or the first one to tech to tier 3 with one huntress and then go for mass bears. And no second hero, just demon hunter. And the thing is, you play on Twisted Meadows, you think one huntress, it's difficult to creep on Twisted Meadows as orc. You kind of do what I call evasion creeping. You take the 2 level 3s at the level 5 Gnoll camp, and then you run away. Then you steal the XP Tome camp at the shop, you run away. Maybe once you have 3 guns, 3 grunts, not guns. You have 3 grunts, you creep the level 3 one with only grunts. Meantime, your Blade Master across the map doing another level 3 one. In this way, you try to get 1 or 2 cool items. You try to get level 2. You try for your grunts not to be hurt. Because when your grunts are hurt, and they get like 3 hunters, Ultra Vision, they can start harassing them with Beastmaster, Demon Hunter. They can start killing them, cancel your healing salves. You end up spending a lot of money, and you end up unable to defend. And this is something that Moon did a lot, if he makes Ancient Protector push outside your base, and you're relying on all your grunts to get healed with healing salve, and they're like 300 HP, 400, 500, you're gonna lose. So sometimes when people went for Huntress, you would learn metagaming, just leave all your grunts at home. Maybe once you will creep something, but just staying at level 1 is okay, but you need to keep those grunts alive because it's too risky. And as a result, when he made 1 Huntress, I kept all my grunts at home. I know there must be hunts, they're shadow melding there and there and there, and he's got Ultra Vision, so you're not going to be able to leave your base. But he beat me at the reaction game because 1 hunt, the Ancient of War that built the hunt was next to the laboratory on Twisted Meadows. So I'm like playing very defensively. I cannot have a victory in the vision game because he has Ultra Vision. So I just play it safe. And then he's like creeping the mercenary, the laboratory with 1 Huntress and 1 Ancient of War.
super greedy.
Right, super greedy. And then he goes all the way to tier 3. I mean, if I did a Grunt Headhunter push, I win. If I did a Grunt Demolisher push, I win. But I didn't have the information that I needed to do a push like that. Or maybe the presence of mind that he would be evil. So he gets to level 5 Demon Hunters, 7 Bears, 1-0 upgrades, and I got like 4 Grunts and like 4 tech units. Like, it was so scary to play him in prepared tournaments. However, when we played in tournaments like WCG, I won't say it was easy, oh my god. But I had a small edge in tournaments like WEG in 2008, WCG and so on. But playing against him, a huge joy because you never knew what you were going to get.
That's a cool little bit of a pass. That's a very inside look also. Thank you for that. Now, you just mentioned a little bit ago, you met him actually at the ESL Arena Shanghai, and we actually from Back to Warcraft replay cast some of those games. How did it feel playing there again? I mean, obviously it wasn't as competitive, but did you still put a lot of effort into it, or did you just try to have some fun? And why did you go there, and why did they decide to do the tournament anyways? We were assuming it was mostly for promotional purposes. Could you like shed some light on that?
So basically, this event is kind of like a business-to-business event, and they wanted to, simply put, to garner some appeal for getting like more people to come and watch their event. And in order to give back and to make it worth it, they organized show matches, me against fans. And playing in the tournament was like, it looks like the main event, and for many people maybe it was, and certainly there were more people watching, so it felt more like a main event too. Lots of people watching online and live, but it was kind of like two things for me. So I thought it sounded really cool to do. I knew I wasn't going to win that tournament. And in fact, I thought I would probably go 0-4 because I didn't have much time to practice. But it reminded me why I love playing Warcraft 3 so much, love playing tournaments so much. And I even won a game against Czech. You know? Oh. It was kind of cool. Like some things, I didn't know exactly like how much would stay with me. Some things got harder, like some of the micro mechanics things and certain timings. Like twice a level 5 creep was stolen while I was creeping it, which was kind of shitty feeling. It wouldn't happen that much back then. But like the heal scroll timing was very, I was very familiar with it. Like on the Echo Isles against Czech, I think I got like 8 out of the 9 heal scrolls. Every time I show up, it's like, oh, it's available again. So that game, which I liked very much on Echo Isles before against Night Elf, that was still there. So there was some deterioration of skill, but I loved it. And playing there, including against the fans, and just like kind of showboating, going Alchemist first or solo Dark Ranger as Orc, I realized like, man, there's so many different things you can do in Warcraft 3. At the very highest level, the meta is more or less defined, but a small skill difference with your opponent, and you can just go like Firelord first into Alchemist and make it work, you know? Or Pitlord first with mass cleave spec. And when I was playing there, I was like, it was so enjoyable. I decided I'm gonna stream Warcraft 3 again soon. So I played.
Did you after that?
I didn't yet, and I'm going on holiday this Thursday. In 6 days from now, so not right now, but I want to do it again. Like, I really enjoy Heroes of the Storm, very much in fact, and I'm streaming it like 6 days a week. But I want to make time maybe once a month or maybe twice a month just to stream Warcraft 3, because that was something that we could never really do that much back then. It's a pity that the resurgence, not the resurgence, the growth and the coming into the scene of Twitch TV was not at the same time that Warcraft 3 was still very much alive. It's a pity, isn't it?
Yeah, definitely. But I know many fans will absolutely be looking out for that stream of yours when you hit up Warcraft 3 again, so that's good news for a lot of people. Now, you've been sitting in the crowd a bit, I saw. Did you watch some of the Warcraft 3 games? Did you still enjoy seeing them? And also, I know you talked to quite a few of the players for interviews, and you have, I think, a few more ahead of you with Rudan and stuff. But so far, do you have a favorite among the players? Are you cheering for someone in particular?
So I mostly talked to Yals and Hate Love Anger because I knew them before. I don't know the other two, but I want to meet them, see what they're like. But I'm cheering a little bit for Hate Love Anger. I mean, I practiced the most with him back then when he was like, I don't know, baby, like 17 or something. And so he's got one more chance tomorrow to qualify. He's playing against Rudan. I mean, I think Rudan, he deserves it too, right? But in the end, one of them can make it. And I mean, I hope Hate Love Anger makes it. He was an old buddy, and I like talking to him here. And it was very fun to watch actually Yals just now against Rudan. Yals against Rudan just played, and Yals won 2-1. And
you mean in like just a practice game?
Oh, the real game just now. Yals just beat Rudan 2-1 earlier this morning.
I'm sorry, my brain is kind of fried. Yeah, of course I was guessing.
I mean, that was insane. It's like I saw that game, and he was going for, Rudan was going for like Archer Talon Rush on Last Refuge, and Yos had his expansion already. And Yos cancelled the shop before, so no Staff of Preservation. Demon Hunter was like level 2.7. And you were mentioning, it's like his shop was cancelled, he cannot save his stuff. Yos kept sending militia. Towers were being cancelled. And do you remember when Yos was pulling back to his main base? And the towers at the expansion were like 70 or 20%. And you were saying, Yos needs to buy time here, because if those towers get cancelled, he could be in big trouble. And I think you're absolutely right, because with those talents, that's a lot of pressure against exactly footmen and militia. That was the key to win. He needed to cancel those towers. But he followed Yos all the way back to his base. And that's, I think, where he lost. And then when Yos was like defending, he wasn't dying, he had those 2 claws of attack on the Archmage. Yeah, it's like, I remember how happy Todd used to be when he got claws of attack on the Archmage. He's like, oh, I'm just shooting my fireballs or strong. Then I was like, wow. I was tweeting too. Yos has like 95% sure to win, because he was doing this really late transition to Ancient of Lords. He wasn't even tier 3. His Tree of Life was very late. It got cancelled. So I was like, oh, Yos is going to China.
And what a story it was, really. We were mentioning on the stream the Cinderella story, the last minute replacement, and it's like the storylines coming out already is so cool, and it's only going to become better, I think.